some people might say I'm overly patriotic. I still get, when I go to a parade and see the flag coming down, and I get teary-eyed. I know where our country was back in 42, 43, and I guess that my greatest concern is I don't think we could get there with our country today. You know, we owned everything. We had our own steel mills, and we did everything. Today, so much of it is owned by foreign governments, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Germans, that, you know, if we want to make steel for our war effort, even if we weren't fighting Japan, would they say we're just going to close the plant? I don't know. It's just a concern, a great concern that I have, that I just don't think the quality of our people is the same that it was in those years. It scares me to feel that way, but I don't see the love, the friendship, the neighbors today that we had back in those days. You know, everybody. I mean, my parents, I don't think they ever locked a door in their life. Mm-hmm. If anybody, a neighbor wanted to come in, they came in. They knocked and said, "Hey, you, anybody home?" That was it. I think our politicians, and I'm sounding like a grouchy old man now, but I think our politicians do not have the feeling for the country that they had back then. Mm-hmm. I don't know where some of them would stand today if we got into another war. It's just it's a personal concern, but a great concern, Cody.
What do you want people to remember about World War II?
Well, it would have to be the sacrifices that everybody made, and everybody did. It didn't matter if they were in the part of that 16 million who were in the service, or whether it was the people that stayed at home. They were all into it, and that would be such an important feeling today, and one that I question whether we still have. Dedication, maybe that's a good word, I don't know. But,
so, some people today will criticize the atomic bomb, whether it dropped on Japan. What are your thoughts about the atomic bomb being dropped?
Well, when that was dropped, I was in Yugoslavia. I think everybody that was in the service thought that it is going to save thousands and thousands of lives. Yes, it took thousands and thousands of lives. It was a horrible thing. I guess today, I wonder where the next one's coming from. We know Korea's playing around with atomic bomb. The Chinese, I think, obviously have it or are very close to it. I still think that the United States, this country, is smart enough to use an atomic bomb the way it was used. Not to take lives, but to save lives. Had we landed on Japanese soil. And Japan, as you may know, is a very hilly country. I think it would have been every bit as bad as the year or so that we spent in Europe. From the Normandy invasion all the way, there would have been untold numbers of people killed on both sides. And at that time, obviously Japan did not have the raw materials then. We still were pretty good set, but I don't know how much longer we could have kept it up, particularly if the war with Japan had gone on another year or so.
So, are there any conspiracy theories about, like the war or like today, 2016, that you subscribe to, you think are?
Well, I think, and this is a result of a lot of reading, but I think we made some very dumb errors in the war. The so-called generals that were calling the shots, the ones that we praised so highly, like Patton and MacArthur, Eisenhower, Mark Clark in Italy, those guys all made a lot of bad decisions. They cost a lot of lives. Patton didn't care how many lives he lost, as long as he got the glory and he did what he wanted to do. He was an egomaniac, but they were just at Anzio. There were just bad decisions made that probably cost 40 or 50,000 lives. Didn't seem to mean anything. It was just people. We got to do it to get there. We got to get from here to there. And some of the admirals, I'm just reading a book now about Pearl Harbor and the battle in the Pacific. And Bull Halsey, and I'm not a Navy guy, but he was a tremendous admiral. And reading some of the mistakes that he made and miscalculating where the Japanese were and so forth. It's a wonder we ever won the war.
Mm-hmm. You've witnessed and been a part of a tremendous amount of history. You've met a Civil War veteran. There's World War I veterans. Obviously the war took place, but their legacy was alive during your 10 years. I mean, do you ever think about that and ever have like any reflections about the history that you've been a part of?
Yeah, I think I've been very fortunate to have lived this long and to have seen the history that I have. I can remember my grandfather telling me, "Oh, if you see as much of your lifetime as I have seen in mine, my visions have been so much greater than his, and that probably will continue. The world's just changing at such a fast clip with all these gadgets and things that you have now. I used to take pictures with a camera."
So, looking forward, I know we've touched a little bit on this, but this video is going to be seen by people that don't even exist in the future. And so, I mean, what words of advice do you have for future generations?
Oh, that's a pretty tough one. I don't know, just to be true to yourself, to your country, to those around you. That may sound kind of sweet, but it's what I really, really feel. You have to, if you're not true to yourself, you're not going to be true to others. And we have something in this country that, in my opinion, no other country has, and I don't want to see it lost. And sometimes I feel like maybe we are losing it. Where is that dedication? Where is that spirit that we at one time had as a country? We still have it in individuals, but could we ever rise up as a uniform country again and do what we did? It was a tremendous 4 years, and how this country pulled together and did things they had never done before, it amazes me.
Frank, what's the secret to life? Like why are we here for?
Oh boy. You just have to live for every day, live for those around you, and things will stay together.
What are some of the things that you believe in?
Well, I certainly believe in my country. I just think that I've been privileged to have lived in it all these years, as many years as I have. It's a privilege to be around, to know people, and I just hope in some small fashion that some of what I've said might ring true to somebody. And keep it together.
So if you had to write a book about your life,
Oh, I have.
what would that title be?
It was Down Memory Lane. Can you think of a better one?
That I could not.
Because I have gone down a lot of memory lanes, and a lot of them meant a lot to me.
I mean, are there any regrets in your life where you think, like, man, if I could go back and change something, I would? Or would you go back and do something again, even though, for the experience, even if the outcome might change?
This sounds rather self-serving, but no, I don't think so. I had a good business career. I think I was a good father. I have a great family. We in our family have a great deal of love from my grandkids. I don't know what else I could ask for or what I could have done different. I'm sure there are things I could have done. There's probably a lot of things I could have done better. But to say, would I go back and start all over? No way.
What do you want people to remember about Frank Ruth? What do you want people to remember about you?
I guess I would just like them and my family to remember me as he was a gentleman, he was honest, he was fair, he had a lot of love.
That being said, is there anything else that you want to add to your interview before you finish?
No,
up?
I think not. I've enjoyed doing it. I hope you have.
Absolutely.
And I hope somebody else might get look back and say, hey, he's not such a nasty old man after all.
All right. Well, Frank, that's it. I've officially run out of questions. But it's just been it's been an honor, and privilege to interview you. Thank you for your time, and appreciate everything you've put into this. It's going to be a tremendous piece, and there'll be people down the road that are going to enjoy it, I'm sure.
Well, I hope so. And it's I've enjoyed doing it, Cody. I may have rambled on too much sometimes, but get started is tough to stop. But it's I just hope that somebody gets something out of it.
These interviews, it's hard to cram 90 so years into 4 or 5 hours, and so that we'll go ahead and sign off here, Frank, and say goodbye to the camera.
Goodbye, and it's been fun.